Good morning. It is Sunday Fun Day, and today I am doing the very first live interview on Instagram. Normally, I would film these and then we would post them to the YouTube channel every Wednesday. So, hi Dawn. So, this morning we'll be interviewing Noemi, and she's going to share with us an amazing story. So we met, I think it's definitely over 10 years ago. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for getting up so early on a Sunday and making yourself so perfect to
Yes,
come in.
had to do the makeup and the hair.
Which I'm sure that we forget about how to do now that it's been stay at home for a month. I don't do my makeup anyway, so.
We forget a few things.
Right. Well, at least you're in that line of work, right? So you've been practicing. I've seen some videos, so.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep up with my coworkers, but it's been challenging, posting a lot more than I have.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, you have a lot going on, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I was just starting to say how you and I met. So I usually give a backstory as to how I met the interview subject that is going up on the YouTube channel. And I do these stories in an attempt to build a world with less judgment, more empathy, and understanding, one story at a time. Kind of like you and I had talked about, just making sure that we are more conscious of our interactions with others as we're all out here trying to achieve the same things and live our best life. And sometimes we tend to lift ourselves up by making others feel bad, and we don't realize our interaction with them. So I think that your story speaks a lot to that type of thing where you never know what's going on with someone that you may encounter. So I met, 10 years ago?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We just dated ourselves. That was awesome. So we met at a mutual friend's wedding. Noemi was actually doing her makeup for her wedding. Noemi and her husband were there, and they're just an amazing couple, super dynamic, as we like to term them, the power couple. But they're amazing, and they're super sweet, and we've kept in touch sometimes in person and a lot of times just via Facebook, and it makes you feel like you see someone every day, which is why the 10 years sounds crazy.
I know. It flies, right?
Totally. So Noemi has shared publicly about their desire to have children and build a family and grow together. So we're going to share a lot of that today, whatever she wants to share with us. But I'm going to start this interview the way I normally start others, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Just kind of by asking you what you think people's first impression of you is.
I'm not the most outgoing. I try a little harder in my adult life to be that way. So perhaps people might not think I'm as well as I actually am.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to observe a lot more, and I'm not always the one to initiate the conversation. But hopefully, people see me as friendly and open. I try to make sure that I live my life to speak more truth about who I am, what I'm going through, and what I believe in. And I just hope that translates in my adult life more so than probably did when I was younger. I think I'm a little more self-aware. So, yeah, hopefully people see me as friendly.
Well, I definitely see you as friendly. I saw you as friendly back then, but I think like one of the things you said that resonates with me is I think that I know 20 years ago, I'm be 42 next month, and so I know 20 years ago I was a completely different person and
Totally.
probably a lot more unapproachable than I am now.
Yeah.
And because of those were my walls, not anyone else's fault. It's all me. But so, what is something that would surprise people to know about you?
Oh, God. I'm a Google. I don't think I let everybody in, maybe not so fully see that as much. But I have fun. I laugh. I laugh a lot, and I marry someone, thankfully, that makes me laugh every single day, multiple times a day. But I might come up a little bit more quiet or serious. But I'm the one that will perform in front of her family.
I love it. So tell us a little bit about your journey. I know you've been, especially during this time of social distancing, a lot more visible with your story and some of your feelings. And what really prompted me to reach out to you recently was you shared about a 3-minute video, kind of letting people know that you've been in a little in your feelings, as we can say, right? And how that's okay, especially with all the things going on. So maybe just kind of share with everyone that's watching a little bit about what that means for you.
Yeah. So Dawn and I have been married for 8.5 years. We've been together for over 10. And in 2012, when we got married, we knew we wanted to have children. And so we started pretty much immediately. I was 32 at that time, and I'm now 41. And you don't ever think that you'll have an issue getting pregnant. You just kind of assume you find someone, you get married, you are ready to have a baby, and it happens. I knew that there were people that have struggled. I've known personally a few, but I didn't necessarily think that it was going to be me. And after about a year and a half of trying naturally, um, we discovered it wasn't that easy. So we decided to find a doctor right away and see if there was anything going on. And no, testing all came back, nothing was going on. So we tried 7 rounds of IUI, which is intrauterine insemination,
Wow.
um, and not one of those took. And we were told early on, maybe about the fourth, that we probably need to transition to IVF, but it was so expensive. We were kind of young and not necessarily thinking to invest $25,000 into trying to have a baby. And you think, like, this should happen now. They're telling us nothing's wrong with us.
Right.
So it's going to happen. So we wanted to just kind of stick with it and see if, maybe it was just the timing or whatnot. And I tried all kinds of different things, acupuncture and changing my diet and going gluten free, all the things that you could possibly do to like help, that you read about, and you become a psycho a little bit because you're trying to figure it out. But it wasn't happening. And meanwhile, every single person around us was getting pregnant. So we have a lot of friends, and the struggle wasn't as hard for them. Okay, I don't know if it's still echoing. I can still hear it, but I have no idea how to make it stop.
I just turned my volume as far down as I probably could. Yes, table 8. Table 8 in the house. That was our table number at the wedding, in case anybody was wondering. But while you were off, there were a couple of comments that came through. People saying they could relate to you, people saying that you're so inspiring in so many ways, and people saying that they're so proud of you and so excited that you guys are pregnant. And it just warms my heart that everyone is so involved in this journey with you, and I love it.
Yeah, so going back to kind of what I was talking about, we have a really amazing community around us, and I've always known that, but after our first IVF treatment, because we ended up moving on to IVF, and it not working, it was devastating. We spent $25,000 of our own money, our savings, and little insurance support, because at that time it didn't cover too much. I had a little tiny bit, but honestly, insurance is such a tricky thing. There's a lot of loopholes you have to jump through. It doesn't always cover everything. So it was devastating, because at the same time I had shared with you, we had a lot of friends that had gotten pregnant all around us and married after us and having babies after we've been trying for years. And we did everything possible to support our friends and be as positive as we possibly could. And we love children. And so I never felt animosity towards anyone around us. I think I felt pure joy, but you can't help feeling devastated for yourself.
Right.
because you don't know why it's not happening.
That
Uh,
sense of unfairness of the world, right?
yeah. So, you try not to share that too much because you don't want to make anyone else feel bad. Um, but I just learned quickly that the more that I held in, the more that I wouldn't be able to connect with people and be true to myself. Um, and so Dawn and I had created all of these video clips of our entire journey. And the purpose of it was to share it with our child once they were here and they could fully understand, and to share it with our family. Um, but I woke up one day and I just decided I have to share this with my friends and my family, and just be honest with myself. And when I did that, I created a video and I posted it on Facebook and Instagram. I created a little YouTube link, but it ended up turning something so much bigger that I had no idea that so many other people were going through and or had been through. I connected with people from high school. I connected with coworkers. I connected with families I didn't even know had struggled, or I knew, but it just brought us that much closer. And I think it allowed people to fully understand a little bit better about what infertility truly means. And it was so comforting and like a weight lifted off of my shoulders to let it out. I think that it's so important. And now I understand when people share their stories, and, it's not just about, um, it's not just for you, it's also for other people. And you don't know how sharing what you're going through can help somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And identifying, like we talked about on the phone earlier, and in the beginning of the show, doing things where you never know what someone else is going through, and you never know what you can identify with just a little bit of that person that you may just be an acquaintance or maybe a complete stranger.
Yeah.
Reminds me of, whenever I hear stories like yours. And your video, by the way, I remember watching it, and I just remember sitting there and just bawling.
No,
And
I'm
not
sorry.
because I was like, oh, I mean, it's yes, of course I felt sad, but I felt so touched by the story, and I felt like it let me into what you guys were going through, and I had no idea until you shared that video. I actually
Yeah.
watched it twice because I was like, wow, this is amazing, and I probably missed the first half of it because of my tears, and I need to go. But there's a quote that I always think of when I see things like this, and the things that you were talking about, like the how come this is easy for us and other people, and it's a quote I saw a long time ago. It says, God only gives you the things that he thinks you can handle, and evidently God thinks I'm a badass. so
I love
I so I think that you and Dawn are pretty badass, and
it. Thank you.
to turn what you said earlier about being present enough to recognize that you wanted to be there for your friends and be the you that you know you are, and be present for them, that touched me. Like, that's
Thanks.
amazing.
Yeah, the people that I have in my life, I truly value my sisters. They're really, really close to me. And um, it's not anyone's fault, including mine or Dawn's, that this wasn't happening to us. And I never wanted anyone to feel like, I was envious of them or that I felt a certain kind of way, because that joy is special. And I didn't ever want my struggle to be placed on them, because I never wanted to take away that part of their joy. And it was a lot of learning about yourself and learning about how to help yourself heal. Um, so I've been on this kind of healing journey for a number of years. Um, and it's truly changed who I am and helped only make me hopefully a better person to be a good mom to my daughter, who now
You
are
guys,
pregnant. So the end of that story was that, we stuck with it, even despite feeling like we might need to give up. Maybe it wasn't our journey. Um, we, for our second IVF treatment, ended up getting an opportunity to be a part of a clinical trial. And it felt in that moment like that was the time. Like, we were given this amazing gift of not having to financially have the burden of struggling to figure out, can we spend another $25,000, a total of 50,000 that maybe or maybe not have a baby. To have that lifted was a godsend. And we truly felt like my mother-in-law, who had passed away before she got her grandbaby, um, was with us and like watching over us. And we went through the clinical trial without having to pay anything. There were a lot of rules involved. We couldn't do testing of any kind, because we were technically seen as healthy people with no issues to have a baby. So they want everyone on an even playing field when you go into a clinical study. But we did 2 rounds of a transfer and it wasn't happening. And my fear was that we would continue to go through all of our resources of eggs that were frozen and it wouldn't happen. And a year would pass by and we would have lost that time. So I had to really make a conscious decision with Dawn to determine, do we continue to do this? And like, it's a crapshoot. It may happen, it may not. Or do we pull out of the study, put another, deposit of money down and really try to find out why? So after some hard thinking, and hard decisions, we decided to pull out and just try to figure it out.
oh wow.
In that time, we also felt like we needed a change for ourselves, for our minds, for our spirits, for our hearts. And we needed some peace and some zen in our life. So we decided to move toward the beach. And we've always lived in the valley, and it was something we've always wanted to do, is go move somewhere closer to the beach because water is just our tranquil place. And so we did. And in that move, a girlfriend of mine had reminded me of a doctor that she had recommended 2 years prior that was in Newport Beach, now close to Huntington Beach where we live. And maybe I should give him a try because her friend had gone through it and gotten pregnant successfully after numerous tries. So I thought, why not? Let's see what they have to say. And this doctor essentially was like, you've done all the tests. There's no more tests I can do for you or with you that I don't even want to put you through. I think I can get you pregnant, but you need to do another round of egg retrieval. So we decided to go for it. And we did egg retrieval again. We ended up getting, trying to remember how many, because we've done 4 full rounds of egg retrieval. I'm sorry, 3. We got somewhere near a lot, 20 eggs, and then of those, like, I can't remember how many survived, but we ended up, after they genetically tested, with only 1. And yeah, so to go from 20 that they had retrieved down to like, okay, we have, I think it was 10 that were, no, it was 16. I'm sorry. It was 10 that they got from this round. And then we had 6 previous from that clinical trial that were frozen. So we had a total of 60 embryos on ice. And of all 16, we ended up with 1. And the very first did IVF, our first egg retrieval, we also ended up with 1, and we ended up not getting pregnant. So imagine the fear kind of coming back in and having to battle. Okay, you have to stay positive. All it takes is one. He can do this for you. It's a different situation, a different scenario. Don't go back to that feeling of only having one and not happening. So, I had been listening to podcasts, reading books, and just trying to keep my mind focused on if this is really our journey, it's going to happen. And I have to have faith that this could be the time. And I'll never forget, you become really impatient in that 2 week wait. And I think it was day 6, I have to admit. They tell you not to do it, but I did a home pregnancy test and it was negative. And that feeling again of fear setting in really strong and tries to take over. But I tried to be positive. Okay, it's too soon. Let's wait until closer to when I have to take my blood test and try it again. And now you can imagine 7 IUIs and 3 transfers prior, all being negative. You always doing that pregnancy test and getting a no. That day came where it was the day before we were going to do our beta, which was our blood work, and I couldn't take it. I decided to test, and it was morning, I think. I took it, I laid it down on the countertop, and Dawn came in, and I couldn't even look at it. It was like that moment of truth, right? Is it going to be our story or is it not? And I kind of glanced at it, and I didn't see it double line. I only saw one. And one means negative, 2 means positive. So I looked at Dawn and I just started bawling. And he looks at me and he goes, "There's a line." And I looked at was the double line. And I just lost, we both just lost it. So the outcome of this was, you don't know what's going to happen. It could have been negative for us. Thankfully, we were, for whatever reason, blessed. Maybe after all, this was our journey. Maybe it was the right timing, the right doctor, the right approach. Like, you don't know why, but it happened. And we could be more happy and excited and just grateful for the journey and the experience. And there's so much we've learned along the way and so many people that we've been able to connect with that we just cherish so very much. So I don't necessarily, I wouldn't say I would change the journey because there's so many special moments along the way that we've been able to experience with other people and with each other and grow as a couple together in ways that we never thought we could, because this can make or break relationships. And thankfully, it only made us stronger and more connected, and hopefully that much better parents, because we really tried hard for this and fought and didn't give up.
I'm sorry, I was trying to keep it all together. It's amazing, and your resilience and your love for each other, and I agree. I don't know if you've seen any of the comments, but I've been glancing between you and the comments and trying to keep my tears back. But the outpouring of support that's been on the comments of this, I think when I posted in a bit, you should go back and read them all. I know you were telling your story, but the love that supports you guys is amazing. And Dawn said something that was so beautiful that I hope everyone saw. And someone just asked how far along you are.
So we are now 6 months. I'll see if you can see. I'm trying not to put this thing over, but I have a nice baby bump.
Baby powers!
It's a little girl. When you do genetic testing, you get to find out the sex. And it was kind of funny because he was really rooting for a boy. Although we both said all along, it doesn't matter how babies, all that matters. But we ended up having, I think, of all of those embryos, there were more boys than there were girls. And in the end, the one that was strongest was the girl.
Hey, us women are fighters, right?
We are. But you know what? He said something to me maybe a couple of weeks ago when we were just sitting watching TV, and um, he looked over and he was like, I'm so happy I'm having a daughter. Yeah.
I'm so happy for you guys.
Thank you.
You're
So,
welcome. It's all such joy, and um, I can only imagine the experience. I don't want to. I mean, we've been talking for a half an hour. We could probably talk for 2 more hours, um, but I will ask you one little thing. How, because you did talk about this in your recent video, and I think it's beautiful how you guys keep uplifting each other and looking at the pictures of the baby and doing all this stuff and keeping your appointments. How has this pandemic and the situation we're in as a nation and our inability to socialize and hug and hold the ones we love, how has that impacted any of your feelings or emotions for this time?
yeah, you know, you finally get pregnant after all this time, and you have a vision in your mind of how it's going to go and how you're going to celebrate and celebrate all the people that have been supporting you along the way and around you. And I have to say that it's been strange. It's been hard. And, you know, never did I ever think that I would be pregnant. This would be happening around the world. I mean, there's so many emotions. Not only are you sad for yourself, but you're sad for people. You see nothing but sickness and death and people struggling financially. And you feel so grateful and so blessed inside for what's happening inside your body and what's happening to you finally. And you want to celebrate. But you also have to be really conscious about what other people are going through. And, you know, I shared a video recently, as you said, about kind of how I was feeling. And, you know, you kind of struggle to like put all the happy out there and like, look at me, I'm so happy and so blessed and we're so grateful and like this is happening. And at the same time, on the flip side, I don't get my family around me. I don't get my friends around me. We don't get strangers going, oh, let me touch your belly, which never did I ever think I wanted that, but you want it when you don't get that anymore in that experience. And I have such a huge community of amazing people, not only in my work life, but also in my personal, that have been our supporters. And the flip side of that and the great thing is that we are able to connect in this way, as I'm connecting with you. But it's weird. I have to go to doctor's appointments by myself now and FaceTime my husband. You know, you have to wear a mask everywhere you go. And because when you're pregnant, your immune system's more vulnerable, you have to just be really conscious. So Dawn goes and does all of the grocery shopping and all the essential things that we need to survive, be okay at home, so that, you know, I can stay as protected as possible. And I was really sad, to be honest. It was sad. I don't know that I'm going to get a baby shower the way that, you know, you want to celebrate with other people. And even when she's here, I don't know if it's going to be over. I don't know how comfortable I'll be to have people around and have people come over and like be around her and touch her, get to enjoy her. But I think letting it out was another outlet of just a sigh of relief, because again, our community of amazing people supported us and showed us tremendous love and joy and support. And I'm feeling a lot better about the situation. And just, it could be one of us that was sick. It could be, you know, someone in our immediate family. And there's so many other things that could be happening. Like we're okay with each other. We like being around each other, so that's a good thing. We have a really fun time. So we're gonna get through it, and hopefully we'll get to just spoil her and enjoy her when she's here and celebrate with everyone that we want to eventually.
Does Don want to come and introduce himself to the world as proud papa?
He's outside.
Okay.
He didn't get ready like I did.
No,
so
that's fine.
if he ends up coming in, but I'm not sure that he will.
No worries.
Not shy.
He's amazing. You guys are amazing, and
Thank you.
like I said, over the last 10 years, just, I think I met you guys. You got married a couple years after, a year after the wedding that we met at, and I think you got married in the same place, right?
We did. We fell in love with that place. It was in Puerto Vallarta. And it was literally our fairy tale wedding, as I'm sure it was for our friends.
Yes.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And I just have watched you guys, like I said, from getting to see Dawn incidentally around town, and us always keeping the Table 8 theme alive, and just definitely wanting to stay friends and stay connected. So, oh yeah, everybody's like, yeah, Dawn, yeah. Did you see all the comments? They're like...
They're saying we want Dawn. Can you just come show your face?
Yeah, just for a second. That way I can ask her last question, and then we can get you guys back to your quarantine life.
Yeah, which has been a little bit of a struggle too, because I'm dealing with carpal tunnel, and I never knew that you could have carpal tunnel during pregnancy, which is very interesting. But
that is interesting. I didn't.
Yeah.
See, I learned something. I've learned a lot of things today, but I didn't know that.
Yeah. Come on.
Ah, there he is. Hi, Don.
Good morning.
So, everyone, this is Don. This is Noemi's husband. Again, I met them together at a wedding, and everyone's comments, Don, I don't know if you've seen them, but everyone's comments, the amount of support and love that surrounds you guys, and new people that I know were part of my camp that were watching this have all said, we love them, they're amazing, your strength and resilience is admirable, and I just, I love you guys, so.
Thank you. No, yeah, we greatly appreciate all the support that we've been able to receive from everybody. She's an amazing woman, and her strength that she's been able to carry through this is undescribable, to say the least. So,
I agree with that.
yes.
I agree with that. Well, you can sit around for a sec while I ask her our very last question of our interview. So if you were walking around, we love you, Dawn.
Bye, you guys.
If you were, one of our friends said he played hockey with Dawn.
Oh yeah,
David Greenberg. Shout outs to the hockey crew.
Yeah, right.
So yes, Dawn plays hockey. If you were out and about after or before not being able to be out and about, and you had the ability to just hold up a sign that said one thing about you, what is it you would want people to know about you?
Oh gosh. That's a good question. I'm kind.
Good. I agree. Well,
yeah. I wear this bracelet. It's be true, be you, be kind. And I try to really be there for people and really listen and just support those that I can around me, because I would want that. And I've been blessed with that along the way. And yeah, hopefully that's what I would want people to know me for.
Well, it definitely comes through in this conversation, and like I said, the things that I see. But, well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today virtually and sharing your story, and sending much love to you guys.
Yeah, this is awesome what you're doing. Thank you for doing this and bringing everybody's stories to people. I think it's so important to share and just hear what other people are going through. So I appreciate you too.
Thank you. And I think what I've been saying a lot during the stay-at-home orders is bringing these stories, especially live on Instagram, has been a blessing, because we give people the opportunity to still connect. And connecting now while we can't connect personally is really important. So,
absolutely. Don said, "Don't worry. He promises he will do an interview with you soon."
Good, because that was going to actually be my closing question: is when are we going to get him on camera? Don works with some amazing organizations, and I think he has so much to offer the community, and people could learn a lot from some of the things he does. So yeah, I'll be waiting.
Okay.
All right. Well, I love you guys, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a great day.
Bye.